Good morning. You're watching Much Ado About Something, and I'm Donna. Well, I'm out here. It's a beautiful October day. It's October 7th, and this is the 7th day of Vlogtober for me. I'm participating in Vlogtober this year, and that means you just make a video every day vlogging your life or what you're doing that day for the month of October. I really enjoyed participating in Vlogtober this year. It's a beautiful October day. It was really warm yesterday, and it's going to be really warm today. They said it's probably going to be in the 80s. So it doesn't really feel fall-like later in the day, but in the morning it really does. It feels wonderful out here. I stepped out here in the garden just to harvest a little bit of sage because I thought this morning I would share with you a wonderful recipe that I enjoy every fall, every autumn. I'm just going to harvest some fresh sage for it. You know, I love sage. I grow it. I try to incorporate it into my meal plans as much as possible. The recipe that I'm going to share with you this morning is sage and sweet potato. I've got to fill up my tea pot this morning, and I've got to make a cup of tea. I'm still battling this sore throat and this hoarseness. So I'm going to need some tea so that I can talk to you and my voice won't be so scratchy this morning. Now the sweet potato and sage soup that I make every year is really delicious. It's a real fall treat. It's a creamy soup. Here are the fresh sage leaves that I just harvested. We'll be using those. And while the tea's making, I'll go ahead and finish cutting up this onion. Now in my pot I have bacon. It's you know, we had a hog killed, so ours looks a little different. But yours, you know, you can just use bacon or whatever you have from the grocery store. But you want to fix, you know, at least I would say a half a pound of bacon. Go ahead and fry that in your pot and get all the grease out of that to start out with. I've got about 3 pounds of sweet potatoes here. These sweet potatoes are really small. They're not very big. But I would say just peel about 3 pounds of sweet potatoes. While the water for my tea is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and work on the soup. Now I've got about 3 small onions actually. These are really small. But I've got 3 pounds of sweet potatoes, so I would probably say about an onion per pound. I'm saving all my onion skins because these make a wonderful broth. A wonderful onion broth, so I'm going to save those today. But I'm going to go ahead and cut up these 3 little onions and have them ready for whenever my bacon is finished cooking. Yeah, so far we're having a really mild fall, but it's supposed to get really cold this weekend. So I have got to get out there and plan to bring my plants on in here so that they don't get frostbite or get too cold out there. I thought this soup that I love made out of sweet potatoes would be delicious for lunch today, the sweet potato and sage soup. It's kind of an unusual soup. It's not real common. Oh, my onions are potent this morning. You can dice these onions about the size that you are used to having them. Woo-wee, these onions are good for clearing out my sinuses, right? I've got my side meat, which you would have bacon. If you don't want side meat, you can surely use bacon. I've still got that frying in this pot. I'm rending out some of the fat of that to use. I've got my onion chopped up. When I'm able to get this fat out of this, when I'm able to get this fat out of this pot, I'll put these onions in and get them browned and cooked until they're clear. I'm just going to go ahead and put these onions in the bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and make my tea. I have here just a cup, and I'm going to put one small black tea bag in there. I'm going to cut up this lemon and add a few slices of fresh lemon to this tea. You can add as much lemon as you'd like. I mean, I'm going to use about a half of a lemon. And I'm going to go ahead and cut up my echinacea leaf. Using about a teaspoon of echinacea altogether. I'll use a few petals. And I'm actually going to use one of the sage stems. My water is already ready. I'm going to let that tea steep here for a few minutes, and then I'll add some honey, and maybe I can quit growling at y'all. My voice will soften up a little bit. I'm just moving the meat pieces around so that they'll They'll go ahead and fry on different sides. While our onions are good and browned, now I'm going to cut up the sweet potatoes. I'm just going to cut the sweet potatoes up into small chunks. And I add them right into our pot. Okay, we've got our potatoes in our pot. I've got a water in here, and now I'm going to add this broth base and seasoning, chicken flavor. You can use broth in here, whatever you want to use for your liquid that goes to cook your potatoes in. I'm putting 3 tablespoons of the broth base in. I'm going to put 1/4 of a cup of garlic in, minced garlic. That added quite a bit of flavor to our soup. I'm going to bring this up to a boil and boil it for 10 or 15 minutes until the potatoes are tender. Well, let me add about a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to bring these potatoes up to a boil and cook them for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to add maybe 2 big leaves of sage. I'm going to mince those up and add them into our pot. I love the smell and the taste of sage. And when you put it in soups and things, it's not an overpowering taste. It has a nice, delicate, delicious herbally taste. I try to incorporate it in whenever I can. I'm always looking for dishes that use sage. I cannot wait for this to get done, and so we can taste it. Our sweet potatoes are cooked until tender in our broth and our onions, and I'm going to take a stick blender and blend this all up. Now this is still hot, but it's not. I have it pretty low down in the pan. this is loud, so I won't let you, I won't ask you to suffer the whole time I blend it. Well, here it is, the delicious sage soup. It's the sage and sweet potato soup. I hope you give it a try. It truly is delicious, and it's a fall tradition around here. Thank you for joining me today, and like always, until next time.